Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Big night for the Celtics, win over the Rockets. We talked about that in our last video here. Josue, Pavon, Bobby Manning, and
Blowout
big news
city.
of the day. Damon Stoudemire stepping in as head coach, but we did get to hear from Josue in the pregame.
Yeah.
I caught a glimpse that something might have been up there with the eyes, but
I was like, what's up with that, Bobby? I think he's got pink eye. What's going on?
he went through that session at the very least and gave some good information, particularly on Robert Williams and the role that they envisioned for him. I think another reporter asked whether they envision him coming off the bench going forward or starting. Assume that they're going to move him to the starting lineup at some point. But Joe kind of responded, maybe we aren't, and he, I think, likes what they're getting from Rob off the bench in those limited spurts. 21 points tonight. I think clearly the best we've seen him look so far.
Right.
He said after the game he's not dealing with any pain, any issues physically after his outings. He did have an illness. He was questionable for this one, so great to see him drop 11 and 15 in just 21 minutes while playing a little sick in this one.
Right.
Where do you fall in terms of his role? Obviously, it looks like they're going to try to limit him for now, but does he eventually need to get back in that starting lineup and reunite that great group we saw last year?
I think eventually, but I don't think there needs to be a timetable set. I don't think it's like a drastic situation where you're like, man, this starting unit really needs Rob in there. I think you have to let Rob find his own way, and for obvious reasons. The goal for this Celtics team is obviously getting back to the finals, obviously winning a championship. And again, and we've been saying this for months, Rob's got to be 100% or as close to it. So I think that sort of goes into this sort of mindset in terms of where they are with Rob and how he's going to progress and gradually make his way into the starting lineup. But I also think that Joe Mazzulla, he doesn't like assumptions, right? I think that's something we've learned about him so far. I mean, he's going to do what he wants to do, what's in his heart. He's not going to always reveal what his plan is, and he's not going to just do what people assume is the right thing or what any other coach would do. He's going to feel the situation out, make sure that when Rob is ready or what he thinks is best for the team, and if that means starting Rob or if that means Rob helping that second unit strengthen and also being a guy who ends games, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah, and that's the more important thing, is he closing games? Because I think you're ultimately going to pick one center in that group with Brogdon and Smart at the guards and Tatum Brown at forwards. You would think when the time comes. So it'll be interesting to see how that playoff rotation develops. It's gotten a little bit tighter in recent weeks. I think you've heard Joe hint at them being able to play many different ways, including double big, the way they played last year. He likes the identity that they had last year. But he's also discovered this 5-out lineup that has a lot more versatility, passing, shooting across all those positions, and they've put up historic numbers offensively with that group. So that might be where the hesitation stems from in terms of putting Rob right back out there at that 5 spot. He even talked post-game about how it being a little different offensively this year in terms of how they run things.
You're right. And no one anticipated that type of elite offense that we saw throughout the first couple of months. And obviously, that happened without Rob. So I think Joe Mazzulla is doing a really good job in gauging the situation, making sure that what he does best for Rob is also best for the team. And I also think that he's going to make sure that this team is well-balanced and that depth is still there. I think that's important for this team. I mean, that wasn't something that we were talking about a lot last year. A lot of the things that we were saying, the narrative around this team with their top heavy and they're going to rely on their starters more, and then bringing in someone like Malcolm Brogdon and other pieces that can help. I mean, Derek White has evolved. I mean, he was a bit of a slump, of late, but those type of pieces was ultimately going to give this team depth, and that's just something that they didn't have last season.
In argument for putting Rob back with the starters, their offensive rating was even better than this year's with that group, that starting 5, turning defense into offense. And of course, they were historic defensively. I'd love to see this group get back to being that number 1 defense and get Rob more involved. And playing with the starters is where he's going to be most involved. But most importantly, in this one, you got him rebounding, offensive rebounding in particular. The Rockets chased the offensive glass, and he kept them off of it. And you even had that great pass to Tatum cutting back door, which is what I really want to see from Rob.
Yeah, I mean, he has so many different things he can do, right? And seeing him go through this stage of getting back into the things and getting his legs back, this was a huge step in that direction. I mean, cleaning up the glass, man, he could have seemed like he was gonna. If this game was close, he would have cleaned up the glass. He would have grabbed 20 out there. I mean, that's how focused he was, and that's a good thing. That's what this team needs, especially in his absence. I mean, rebounding, getting crushed in the rebounding statistical category has been a problem for the Celtics. It always isn't. It usually isn't the case when their offense is playing at a high level, but Rob Rob certainly evens that out when he's playing that elite and cleaning the glass.
And we're, of course, brought to you by Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/garden and get 5 free travel packs of their powder that you put in your water each morning. It gives you 75 vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, probiotics, and more. Go find out about all of those whole food sourced ingredients, how they help your body, and just take it from us. The energy, the healthiness that we feel, and overall the good taste that this product has just makes it superior to some of its competitors, and you see that in reviews too. So go to athleticgreens.com/garden, get those 5 free travel packs. Year's supply of immune boosting vitamin D. Everyone's getting sick right now, so you could use that. We warned you. And of course, they have some other cool gear over there as well. That's athleticgreens.com/garden. And Rocket Money, rocketmoney.com/garden is going to get you their app, which not only helps you get rid of subscriptions you don't use, you don't need, show you how much you're spending on them, which is the big one. You also could see potentially ways to save if you threaten to cancel those subscriptions, or just general money management tools, which everyone could use after the Christmas season in particular.
Absolutely, especially me.
Love the app. Again, you've heard of the subscription services. There's a lot of tools over there that you can use, so go check them out at rocketmoney.com/garden. Support the Garden Report. Celtics back on the road soon. We'll be with them for many of those trips due to great sponsors like these. But first, Celtics taking on the Clippers on Thursday. We'll be back here at TD Garden to end this long homestand that the Boston's been on, trying to even it out with a lot of wins on the back end after an 0-3 start. For Josue, Pavon, Bobby Manning, Celtics beat the Rockets in another big night for Robert Williams.